you guys. Happy Monday night. This is Sue at Miller's Laboratory, and it is time for Headstart journals. I know I told you that I thought this would be the last one. Unfortunately, I am going to need one more week. I have been working like a dog to fill all of the stuff in here, and you can see how fat this is. So the inside is all done. I may do something on the inside of the covers. I haven't done that yet. And I haven't done anything with the cover. I really want to take some time and really show you what your options are. I don't want to rush it. And it's Sunday night. I have been working all day. So I'm going to flip through and show you all the stuff on the inside. And then next week we'll do the cover, the little dangle, and just wrap it up. So thanks for joining me tonight. Let's jump right in here, okay? So here I have this first little tag. Let me just say, this is actually the first flip through. I haven't even flipped through yet, so we're gonna see all the warts and everything and what might need still to be fixed. I made a little tag here, added a little bit of paper and some upholstery fabric that to me looks like moss, which I think is cool. Just did a little collage on the back. And then I added a little label down here at that cutout corner, or that torn out corner, so that it shows over the tag when you put it in. I thought that looked cool. Just added a tag here. In here I found this really nice kit with these tree cards, and I've used several of those in the book. I think they're pretty, and that's fairly simple to do. Just put a backing on it. Didn't do anything here. Here I added the little tags that hold these little flaps closed. I just used some pre-made craft tags, did a little stamping on them, and added a postage stamp and a little bit of embroidery floss in the hole. And then just to remember, these are the ones that each open up like this, so you can journal on the inside, each one separately. Okay. Here I added a label and a little mushroom, made a little writing space here. This actually just opens right up, so the tab is holding the two sheets together. And then you can write on both sides of that blank paper on the back, and that's just an old book page. Nice journal card here, made with an image from a tree book. And in here I've tucked a little tag. This is also made from paper from an old book. Just added a tag and a tab and a bird. And just a reminder to you, these photo album pages are delicate, but I am tucking things in them because I want to. Alright, here's another little tag with the second tag just tied on for fun and a little bug on there. Okay. I just added a little strip of music paper here. And then in this pocket, this is just a folded page from an Edith Holden book. So that could be used for, I think you could write on it, honestly, but you could also use it for collage somewhere else in the book if you wanted to. Just added some little washi looking strips of paper here and a label. And then we've got this pretty tag in here. So I hope everybody is doing well. I hope you had a good weekend. I did. I worked all day Sunday, but on Saturday I went on a nice kayaking trip with my husband. It was really fun. Now here, these two little tags kind of go together. They're like twins. I like to do that when I have like two pockets that are next to each other that are the same or similar. then I think it's fun to kind of put tags in that coordinate too. And then I just added this little tab here for our little squirrel flip. In this one I've made a nice journaling card. This is just from a page out of a bird book that I have. I didn't even put a backing on it because it's kind of thick paper. And Lord knows the book is thick. Oh, and then I just added a little eyelet up there and a little leaf charm, and that hangs out the top. Leaf there. Here I just took this is probably a title page from an old book. Yep. So you can still write on the blank parts here, and then I just cut out this pretty forest floor kind of image and glued that into the frame area. And then here I made a sweet little journal card with a fox. Cute. That's something I printed from, probably from biodiversity at Flickr. Okay. All right, here we have a little journal card. It's a nest. It's kind of cool pattern paper on the back that you can write on. Okay, I added this tree. Just cut that out from a sketchbook that I have. And then if we open this up, I took a little, like a little page out of a bug book that I have, and I just added a couple of pages inside. I just did that by stitching the front half together here, and then that makes a nice little booklet with several pages to write in. And then I just put this pretty bird down here. We have another journal card in here. That nice leaf pattern. That's something I printed. Just a little collage on the back. There's an opportunity to put something on here. I just didn't. I can't put something on every single page. It's just too much. Here's my little belly band with the book spine. I added a little bit of washi and a label on there because I thought it looked nice. And then another journal card here. This one I just used a page out of an art book, and that's a really good source. You can find those at thrift stores all the time. And this had part of it colored and part of it plain, so I just used the plain part on the back for writing. This is a little bit sticky, this belly band, I noticed. I'm going to run my wax paper under there to make that work a little bit better. Here's just a little tag again, made from that same tree book. And in this side I put a label, and I printed out this sweet little envelope. And inside here I just have a little folded card. This is a third little tree image that I didn't use on that other page. And this is just some beautiful old handwriting that I found at a antique store. A whole notebook full of it. It's beautiful. Okay. On this flip out one here, I added this tag. It's black on the back, so you can write with a white gel pen on that. And I used a piece from a piano roll here and added an Edith Holden bird. Then remember, this is the one that opens up for writing. You can write all in here. And then don't forget we have our little pop-up bird over here. All right. I gotta go a little faster. Just added a little paper across here to kind of tie these two sheet pages together. Okay, on the back of this half of the check printout, I made a little tag. Again, that's an Edith Holden, and I just added a second sheet to write. And then this was the page where we flip up and we can write under here. And then we flip this down and we can write all under here and on here too. Tons and tons of writing space on that. Here's our little individual flips, and I just added little tabs on those. And then on this, I also added a little tab, and I did a little bit of stamping in here just to make it more interesting. I didn't do anything in there. Okay. Oh, now here's a little tuck spot that I forgot to make something, so we'll have to add something in there. I promise I'll do that. Here with this little acetate pocket, I used the brown paper is from an old book. Just added a mushroom and some old book page and some old upholstery fabric there for a tab. And then here is our pretty nest pop-up. And then we have a similar tag over here, like I said, different mushrooms, but same idea. They just kind of go together. Left this page blank. Here I have a couple tags tucked in. This one's got a porcupine on it. And this one has a raccoon. Raccoons are not my favorite. I do not like raccoons. Had a bad experience with raccoons. Just added a little leaf here, and then this is the little booklet that we stitched in. I didn't do anything with this. Here in this side tuck, I've added just a very simple journal card, a little collage and a little tag. I used a lot of pages from this tree book because I liked the colors, I liked the style of the artwork and everything. It just worked really well. So that's a great way to get lots of images if you don't want to print them all out. Here's my little envelope flip. Just made another journal card inside here with the deer on it. Just used an index card on the back. It's great for writing. Can be something humble. It doesn't have to be fancy. And then all I did here on this is just add a label up at the top. It might be nice to add more stuff on there, but I didn't. I don't know if I will or not. Okay. This is the belly band here. I made a little journal card that's kind of, it hangs over the belly band, okay? And this is from an Ideals magazine. I just found that deer image and it seemed great. I just added a little collage on here, and then I added the label to make like a tab, but it's only glued on the bottom half so that you can still open this up all the way and write on the back side. And then of course, remember this folds down and you can write in here too. Well, we're getting hung up on something here. There we go. Okay. All right. This is another journal card that I made from that art book. Just backed it. Added this tiny little library pocket with a tiny little tag inside with a stamp on it. Just a little bit of whimsy. A label that just kind of goes across and joins those two pages. You'll see several of these leaves that I printed. You could stamp them too, but I have these line drawing leaves and I just printed them on another patterned paper that I have. And I have quite a few of these little scenes of woods too that you'll see throughout the book. Here is our tree pop-up. And in this page here, I just added another Edith Holden page. This one's got a little squirrel on it. Very cute. And we've got a little collage and a mushroom glued on there. This is the page where we can just flip down and write inside here. Didn't do anything to that. On this side I clipped a little journal card with a cutout owl and a label. Used an old notebook with, I think that's a child's writing on it. I reinforced the edge of these pockets that I made. They were too delicate after I embossed this paper. It made it really rippy. So I did put another strip across there to make it stronger. These are just a couple of labels, big labels that I printed out and then just backed them and added this label on there for decoration. And then in here I've tucked a little squirrel image. This is a card that opens up to write. Little label here and some faux washi here. That's paper. Here's another little tag. It's one of those tree journaling cards again. So this is printed on, I'll just tell you, here's something you can find at thrift stores all the time and you might pass it by. Like they're postcards that you can run through your printer and they're perforated into 4. I used those to make these. They're not quite the same size as the postcard, but it's perfectly good cardstock. So keep that in mind. Even though you may not want to use the actual postcard, you can use that to print smaller things and cut them out. Here's our little owl pocket, and in here I made a little fold out. You'll recognize that paper. I used that on the other little booklet. Okay, what I did here is I just wrapped this little collage, little image around the edge, and then I just glued strips of paper here and here and here, so you can journal on these. And these are all, they've got a little, some of them have a little bit of printing on them. They're from old books, so make use of those. And I think that looks cool when there's something like that on the page. Here's a pocket, a very simple tag, another one of those leaves I was talking about. And then on the other side we have the matching one, or the coordinating one. And then inside this tall pocket, I have made a tag with a little bird on it and a label. Added this little key tag at the top, and you can write on the back. This is, I hope this isn't boring. It's a lot. Okay, on this page, this is a pretty German page. I just took this printed paper that has the leaves on both sides, and I just folded it over and clipped it so that it's it can be written on the other side, and then just hang it over for decoration. I think it looks kind of cool. And then obviously I used my decorative punch to punch the edge. Over on this side is this little flippy thing. I didn't do anything here except I did add this little label. I just glued it up to the edge here so that it makes like a stopper for this, and then that slides down. Otherwise it wanted to slide down more and I wanted it to stay straight, so that just makes like a little holder for it. And then here's our little fold out bird. We can write on in here, and that just clips closed. And then we can tuck something under there too, and I didn't do that. So that's the second thing I need to make. All right, here's our little belly band slash envelope slash writing space, so you can write all in here. I made a little journal card, another squirrel that goes inside there. And then the tag that's, or the journal card that's underneath there. Just, I used that same paper you saw before with the handwriting on it, and fussy cut out a tree and glued it on there. Something simple but nice. Now these are our little flip pages, and all I did here that you haven't seen is I added little tags in there on each belly band. And I ran a strip of washi tape along there. This paper is very flimsy, and if I had this to do over again, I wouldn't do something so heavy on this paper because it wants to just collapse. So it's not the best, but it's okay. See how it wants to just fall down? It's because it's not strong enough to hold all of those things up very well. All right, I have this little envelope here, and we made another little one of these tree cards inside. Very simple one. And then in this little upside down envelope, I've got a little tag made out of a paint chip. And that's got a couple sheets there. This is a little tuck, another journal card. That's from that art book again. And then remember, this pulls down and you can see the whole tree page there if you like. Okay, here on this side I clipped a big journal card. Just some vellum and a leaf layered onto a math book page. I added a label here, and then in this bag pocket I put an old envelope, Miss Dorothy Stevens, and inside that I added just a folded bird book page, the woodpecker. I wasn't going to put anything in that envelope because I thought the envelope was really cool, but of course if you have an envelope there needs to be something in it. And I just chose to put that in so that the flap is on the outside. And here I've tucked a little chipmunk journal card. And then we have these little envelopes here. Remember these? I made little birds in here. And this is some of the paper. I'm not going to be able to think of what you call it right now. When you take a backing and you glue down, you collage over onto the big sheet, a master board, and then you cut it up. That's what I used to make those. Here I just glued this image and used little photo corners on it to decorate that page. And put a nice big journal card inside there. You could write on either side of that one actually, whatever you like. And then here I've got a little paper clip up there with just some embroidery yarn on it. Tucked this little guy. And this was just, I had all these strips of torn typing paper, and I just thought, well, why not layer them like this? You can write on each one. I thought that was kind of different and unique. Okay. And then on this side I just tucked a little page from that bug book. I didn't do anything to it at all. It's just the page. Nothing fancy there. That's our little page with the flags. Here's another little envelope. Another tree card in there. It's a little bit different with the paper collage on the back. Another one of those leaves. There's our window page. Oh, stickage. Put a little label down there. I put a tab on here. This is the one where the leaves are on the fold. And then just did a little collage here with another bird. Tucked a little card here. This is just a trifold. So, and this is real thin paper. Just used this image and then added the paper on the back. So it makes lots of writing space but doesn't take up a lot of thickness. Here I made a little tab that has a leaf cut out, and then I took the leaves and glued them down below. And then here's our diagonal pocket. This is actually something I had in my stash. It's an index card that's folded in half, not quite in half, and then it's got this little tab on it that's not glued down all the way, so it holds it closed, and you can write inside and then close it. It's like a little enclosed, and then that sweet little tab on there with the chenille fabric. Ooh, okay. And on this side I added two more tags made out of the paint chips. I like to use paint chips. You can get really cool colors, and I just like that. It's fun that it's segmented like that, and you can think of fun ways to use it. Added a label here, and here is a great big bird on this brown tag. And then I just added the bugs across there. That's the washi tape, and a little bit of collage here. Okay, then here we have our little envelopes, and I just made little sweet little scallopy little tags. I have these tags, and I just added the tree image on the side and added the embroidery floss. And then there's one in here too. Same thing. Same thing. Okay. Didn't do anything to this page. Here I've tucked a little mushroom journal card. And in this one here with the window, I made another little booklet that I just stapled together. Just, I think, 3 pages here that you can write on. And then, obviously, you can't write on the shorthand on the back. Okay. There's our flip up. There's our little bee flip up. Here's our page where we wrapped the leaves across. Everybody really liked that. Thanks, guys, for all your nice comments on that. Here's an Edith Holden image of a fox, just made into a journal card, and another one of these little pockets with a little tag inside of mushrooms. Just punched out and added in for something fun. We're almost to the end. Okay, great big journal tag in here, with that pretty fern background and an image of a deer, and pretty green on the back, that one. This spread is very neutral, earth tones here, so I liked that pop of green on the back. And then in this little tuck, this is an image I printed from the graphics fairy. It's from a book cover, What Was Said in the Woods, which is really fun. Just added a little rickrack here and a little paper ruffle for the tab. Okay, and then this page is the little, remember the little fold out with the writing space? And then a very simple little journal card in here, also a paint chip. Just added a label there. I wrote my address, the Miller's Laboratory address here, and added a stamp and a cancellation. Got this cute image of a bear in this one. On the back of this old index card from a business that had different business addresses on it. I added this little image here, and then there's that T from our stencil. In here I added another one of these little mushroom cards. And then this again is one of those flip ups where you can write inside. Okay, and then on the last page here, added a tag made from that art book again, And this is a page I printed out. And I also added a label on this one because I like the way that looks when it hangs over. I did put my label here, but I haven't signed it yet because it's not done yet. So next week we will talk about how to decorate the cover, what to do inside here, if anything, if you want to. And like I said, we'll make the little dangle. So thanks for joining me today. That was a marathon. Have a great week, guys, and I'll see you next Monday for the last session.